guys, this is Otis's week 3 video recap. So I'm just offering him the flirt pole to see if he wants to play for a minute or two before we get started. However, I think he has spotted my treat pouch and he's ready to go. Let's see here. Get it, bud. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Alright, I think we're just going to get started. Okay. So we're going to start by charging our clicker just like we've been doing at the beginning of each training session. And I'll do this maybe 3-4 times before we get into it here. Okay, then we're just going to have him follow a food lure for a few reps just to get him warmed up here. What a good boy. You notice this week I'm having him maybe move a few more steps before I mark and reward him. Still continuing to practice this with both hands, making sure he stays nice and connected that whole time. Good job, bud. Okay. So we've been continuing to get all the puppies used to wearing a leash. So this week, right now I'm going to pop the leash on him. And then we are going to repeat that following a food lure exercise. We're going to work on our sits, our downs, and our hand targets all while he's wearing this leash. So as a reminder, I find the easiest way to do this is to get my puppy interested in food first so they're not biting at the leash or my hand while I'm trying to get it on their collar. So I'm going to get Otis licking a piece of food while I find that little clip on his collar. And then once I find it, I'll drop the food on the floor so that way I can get him leashed up with minimal fuss. Okay. So we are just going to repeat our following a food lure exercise. So when I'm doing this with my puppy on leash, I will hold my leash and my clicker in the same hand, and then I want my food to be on the same side as the dog. And we've been continuing to pair this with his name as well. Otis! 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 Good job, buddy. Okay, so switching hands. So leash and clicker are going to go on my opposite hand. Food's going to be over on my right now. Otis! Otis! Good boy. Otis! Good job, bud. Okay, right from here, we're going to review our hand targets. So the goal in week 3 is that we're able to present our hand flat without any food in it. And Otis will come and target our hand with his snout. When he reconnects with my hand, that's when I'll mark and reward him. So we're not getting rid of marking and rewarding him when he does the behavior. We are starting to fade out, always having that food lure in our hand. Otis, touch. Good boy. Otis, touch. Good job, buddy. And then again, making sure I can do this with either hand. Otis, touch. Good boy. We'll do one more here. Otis, touch. Good boy. And then something we can do if we want to get him to take an additional step or two before he targets our hand is when he starts to zero in on our hand, I can pull it back even a little bit further. Otis, touch. I'm going to re-cue him because he saw my clicker hand and I think he thinks I have a piece of food in it. Go get it. Otis, touch. You're being so silly. Let's try again. Go get it. Otis, touch. Good boy. Let's try one more. Otis, touch. Good boy. Much better. Good job, buddy. Okay. We've been continuing to practice our sits. So for this week, really no difference as far as I want to see that he'll do it with me just verbally asking for the sit and not using a food lure. The only difference in week 3 is now we're practicing it with him on a leash. Otis, come on. Sit. Okay, so I'm still going to give him a follow-up cookie or two for maintaining that position. And then I am going to use that release cue to let him out of position. Okay. We'll do that one again. Otis. So if he offers you a sit, you can toss another reset. Go get it. Or try to kind of encourage them to stand up. Good boy. Otis. Sit. Good boy. Okay. I want to see if I can do one more with him. Good boy. Otis. Sit. Much better, buddy. Good boy. Okay. We've been continuing to practice downs this week as well. So the goal in week 3 with our down is that I can just verbally ask Otis for the down without having to use a food lure. So I'll verbally ask him or cue him first. I'll give him a few seconds to maybe figure it out. And then if he's still struggling with it, then I'll point to the floor. At that point, if he's still not getting it, then I'll pull out food. Otis, down. So just pointing. And then I'm bringing out the food. Good boy. Giving him some follow-ups, just like I was doing with our sit, to start to work on duration right off the bat. Okay. Using that release cue to let him out of position. We'll do that one again here. Otis, down. Good boy. Very nice, bud. Okay. We're going to do that a third time here. Otis, down. Good boy. Okay. Okay, and then at this point I am going to take the leash off. So again, I like to use food for this as well, just so he's not trying to chew on my hand or the leash while I'm taking it off. So getting him licking that piece of food while I unclip that leash. And this is a nice way to get it on and off of him with minimal fuss. Okay. From here, we're going to move right into our flying cookie game. So last week we were playing this with him dragging the leash behind him. This week I took the leash off because I want to try to toss the food a little bit further, and I don't want him to get hung up on the leash, stepping on the leash that's on the floor while we're working on this. So I'm going to toss a piece of food away from me. As he's finishing up that food, that's when I'm going to call him nice and loud. When he turns in response to his name, that's when I'm marking with the clicker. And then I'm going to make sure he comes all the way back to me to get that piece of food. And then when I send him out again, I'm going to move where I am, so I'm calling him from a different spot. I'm not staying stationary. Go get it. Otis. Good boy. Go get it. Otis. Good man. Go get it. Otis. What a good boy. We'll do a few more here. Go get it. Otis. Boop, 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 boop. I'm gonna do one more. Go get it. Otis. Good boy. Very nice, buddy. Good job. So again, it's just a really nice way to kind of make a fun game out of working on some name recognition with our puppies. Good man. Okay. Right from here, we're going to move into our mat skill. So in week 3, we're working on 2 things. First one is I want to see that Otis will offer me a down position on the mat when I cue him to go over to place. And then the second one is that I want to see he'll maintain that position on the mat while I start to move away from him. So I want to be able to turn my back to him and maybe take like 2 or 3 steps away and see that he will stay on that mat in position. Otis, place. What a smart boy. Okay, so taking a few steps away, maybe turning my back to him. As long as he remains in position, I'll click and come back in and feed. If he pops up after I've clicked, I'm just going to make sure he's in that down before I give him that piece of food. Good boy. Going to use that okay as our release cue. Okay, and I'm going to leave the mat right where it, actually I might move it back a little bit so you can see a little better. Otis, place. What a smart boy. So again, turning my back to him. Smart puppy. Boy. And then right now, since he keeps popping up, I'm not going to walk away, but I want to see if I can get him to the point where when I click, he stays in that down while I reach for food. So if he starts to get up, I'm just going to stop and wait for him to get back into that down before I grab that piece of food. I've already clicked him. I'm not going to click him again. Good boy. We'll do that again. Much better. Okay. Okay, we're gonna run through that one more time. Otis, place. Good boy. Much better, buddy. Okay. And then I'm going to pick that mat up since we're done working with it. Very nice, bud. All right. We've been continuing to work with the crate in week 3. So our goal in week 3 is that we're able to shut the door and take a few steps away from the puppies, turn our backs to them, and make sure that they're going to remain calm in that crate. So let me pull it over here so you can get a better view of it. Okay. Otis, crate. So marking and rewarding once all 4 paws are in. Marking and rewarding again once the door is shut. And then I'm just going to take a couple steps away, kind of similar to what we were just doing with our mat. As long as he remains calm, then I'll walk back into him. And I'll click and reward again. And we'll do that again. I'll walk in a different direction. Maybe pause for a few seconds. What a good boy. And then when I am ready to release him, I'm meeting him right at the threshold with a piece of food. Okay, using that release cue to let him out of his crate. Otis, crate. Good boy. Okay, so again, walking away. Good man. Do that again. Good boy. Meeting him at the threshold with a piece of food. Okay. Good job, buddy. But I am going to shut that door because I think he's going to try to go back in there if I don't. Good boy. Okay. The last thing that we worked on in week 3 is introducing grooming tools that make sound. So I am using a nail Dremel today. You could also do this with a hair dryer or a pair of hair clippers. We just want to keep in mind that whatever tool we're using, the louder it is, the further away from the dog we want to start. So I like to start with the tool behind my back to kind of muffle it, and then as we continue more reps, I'll bring it out to my side and slowly bring it closer to the dogs. So he's probably going to need a lifetime of grooming, so we just want to make sure that he's comfortable with all the different sounds that the grooming tools are going to make. I just want to see that he's going to have a neutral to positive response to hearing it. It's okay if he's interested in it, I just don't want him like overly interested in it and concerned. Go get it. Okay, so I'm going to get down on the floor here. I'm going to grab my nail Dremel. Hi, bud. All right. So the way this is going to work is when the tool turns on, that's when food will start. So I will drop 1 piece of food at a time, maybe 3 or 4 pieces while that Dremel's on. When I shut it off, the food will stop. I'll toss a reset cookie, so I'll send Otis away from me. And I like to do that because you can kind of use it as a gauge. If he comes back, he wants to continue to work, okay, maybe we'll do another rep and I'll bring it closer. If I send that reset cookie out and he's not coming back to me, that might be a good sign that he's like done for the day. So we'll see how this goes here. I know, I got snacks in there. Okay, so I have my nail Dremel. I will say this is a pretty quiet tool, so when I start with it behind my back, you might not be able to hear it in the video. So Dremel turns on, dropping one piece at a time. Again, just 3 or 4 pieces. I don't have to do this for a really long time. Dremel shuts off. Go get it. Toss a reset cookie. When it comes back, we'll do it again, but this time I'll have the Dremel on my side. Okay, Dremel shuts off, food stops. Go get it. On this last one, I'm going to put it on the wood flooring because it will vibrate a little bit more and make a little bit more noise, okay? So Dremel turns on. Food happens, one piece at a time. Dremel shuts off, food stops, and then we'll toss a reset. Go get it. Good job, buddy. You can do this maybe 3 or 4 repetitions in a row. I wouldn't do this for like a half an hour or anything like that. It's just getting them used to hearing those noises. You did pretty good today with that. That is it for Otis's week 3 video recap. Make sure you're looking at your video library as well as your handouts. Those will give you much more detailed information on everything we worked on with Otis in week 3. Good job, buddy.